Good evening.
Welcome to Pop Coffee Roasters podcast.
The World of Pop, episode number 5. Well, I wanted to start off by saying thank you to all our listeners from all over North America and farther. Or someone from UAE.
Yes, all the way down, all the way over in the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah, shout out to you,
away.
especially. It's so cool to see the reach that you can have when you put your mind to it.
Yeah, we've had an incredibly positive feedback on everything we've done so far.
Yeah, and now
it's all you guys.
Yeah, thank you everybody, especially anyone listening to this right now. And we want to say we're also on Google Podcasts right now. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can subscribe on YouTube. This will be our second Vodcast video podcast.
That's right.
There you go.
With a selfie this time. Selfie cam.
How do you feel about having your image captured?
It feels all right.
Yeah?
I think I'm an all right looking guy.
Yeah. How do you feel about this setting we've created for everybody?
I mean, we didn't really...
This is actually...
We didn't really change the setting too much. We're just in Josh's living room here.
This is the record listening. We have lots of different vinyl all around.
Some vanilla fudge here.
Yeah.
That's some rock and roll.
We mentioned them actually in one of our episodes earlier.
It was the last podcast that we did.
Episode 2.
Vanilla fudge twice in a row.
Yeah. Well, shout out to my pops who introduced me to vanilla fudge, who, when I started my movie making career, my first independent film in high school, I used vanilla fudge in the soundtrack. So they've had they were one of the first psychedelic rock bands. All right, I need to drink a little more. Hold on. Psychedelic rock bands, they used a church organ to create those sounds, not an electronic synthesizer. Anyway, we're moving on. Wearable technology. How do you feel about it? We want to dive into this. I was almost convinced to buy an Apple Watch.
Yep. And we're talking about this because the same day that Josh almost bought an Apple Watch, my sister texted me to ask me how I feel about Apple Watches because she was thinking about getting one.
And what'd you say?
What'd
you tell sis?
They're great for very specific things. You want something to track all your vitals and stuff while you're running, your distance, you want to get a super accurate reading. Apple Watch is great. They do a lot of stuff. There are a lot of health benefits that you can get from wearing an Apple Watch. And there's also, I worked at Jimmy John's for quite some time. I worked for corporate stores. I worked in the Ann Arbor market, and all of the managers had Apple Watches, which I understood completely because if they were online super busy doing something, they needed to be able to know if whoever was calling them was important, or if they needed to respond to a text ASAP, rather than stopping, taking off their gloves, taking out their phone, figuring out whether or not they need to respond. And in the event that they don't...
Why doesn't everyone have one if they're so convenient? That's what got me.
Well,
they said the health, and I'm a health freak, so I was like, oh my God. But I'm like...
It is a luxury item. You have to remember. Nobody needs an Apple Watch.
Well, I know my dad, shout out Dad again, he has one, but he's a lawyer. And in the courtroom, it's really convenient because lawyers are the only ones that are actually allowed to have cell phones.
Yes.
So it's even better than having to pull your phone out.
It's an image thing. It looks a lot better for a lawyer to be checking their watch.
It really does.
In a courtroom,
I never thought about it
pulling out their cell phone to look at it.
But even though it can track your vitals, and even though they look pretty slick, and depending on your job or your career, they might be more conducive to that career path or your lifestyle.
Yeah.
I still am rocking an old school watch, and part of that is I don't know if I'm comfortable, everything aside, all the convenience aside, I get it. I get why wearable technology is in right now.
I totally understand it.
But I want to be able to leave my phone and go on a walk where I have nothing electronic on me. I want to be able to be in touch with more of the earth and the organic elements of which we're created.
If you're going to go on a hike, you might still want to know what time it is.
Yeah. You might need a watch or a compass. I mean,
this watch doesn't ding at me. It's never dinged at me. It's never said, "Hey, somebody's calling you." It's never done any of these things.
Not once ever has that watch talked or Siri'd or.
All it does is tick.
Yeah. All right. So we love our analog watches. We're not digital watch dudes, but if you are, leave us a comment because I want to know how you feel about wearable technology. It's just a thing that, you might have been, out on a date and your date is, talking to their wrist, or, you might, I don't know. Like, let us know if you've had any experiences. I don't personally have any like horror stories of wearable tech, but having I literally almost bought it and I didn't. So
I'm glad.
I'm really glad I didn't, and I'm going to stick to that. And I just,
it's really nice. Another thing is it's really nice to have a dedicated device for something.
Totally.
You know what I mean? It's the difference between...
Yeah, it does its one thing.
It does one thing. Yeah.
Like we were talking about scales last time.
I was also talking about cameras.
Yes.
We've been shooting on iPhones. Josh and I have iPhones that we've been shooting all of our video on. And I feel sometimes a little conflicted about using my personal phone. Like my whole phone is just, having a whole camera, you're like, oh yeah, this is for film. That's the only thing that it does. This is the only thing it's good for.
Just because we want everyone to know that, whatever education you have or whatever budget you all have the ability to use your phone to be a voice for the world, to the world, and it's empowering. And so, whether it's an iPhone 7 or an iPhone 12 or a DSLR, you can get the job done nowadays in ways that, I'm 33 years old, so I've seen a lot of change in technology in my short life, I think.
It's true.
Yeah, it's been a really quite, we talked about that too in another episode about technology, and just that's what's really changed and shaped the way we do business, and we're seeing that more and more right now. Things are going well. We're really excited. Thank you everyone who's bought coffee. You're the best. Continue, subscribe, stay caffeinated.
Absolutely.
We appreciate everybody. And we're going to, move on to one of our favorite sections, one of my favorite sections.
Which one is this?
Barista Horror Stories.
Wonderful. Okay.
Told by Jordan.
Yep. I had to think about this. I've been thinking about it for the past, 45 minutes or so. I've got one.
I'm ready.
So, I'm working downtown here in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
We have an open mic night. Was always a really good time, 7 to 9. A gentleman comes in, orders a black coffee, like a drip coffee for here. He gets it in a coffee mug. Serve it to him. He goes to sit down, and he comes back up, and he goes, hey, man, do you have any stevia? Stevia.
Wait, what is this stevia?
Stevia is an artificial sweetener. It's not sugar.
Is that a chemical one, or is that an actual plant-based one?
Stevia comes from the stevia plant.
Yeah.
Which grows somewhere.
I'm
not sure where.
Tea uses it.
Steve's tea.
There's a tea that I like I remember. It's actually not that bad for you. It sounds kind of sus.
It sounds kind of steezy.
Sleazy.
So anyways, this gentleman comes over to the counter, and we're busy, mind you. Where there's an event going on. You know? Like, we're packed with people. I'm making drinks. I got a lot of stuff
going
on.
Downtown?
This is in Detroit, yep. Yeah. And he comes over to me. He's like, you got any stevia? And I'm like, no, we don't have any artificial sweeteners. Like, we don't have any artificial syrups. We don't have any sugar-free anything. Like, it's all raw sugar and cane sugar. And this man gets really aggravated really quick. He wasn't overly confrontational about it. He just said one thing that really... This is a story in which... probably is a barista horror story in the sense that the barista was not the best that they could be.
Turn the tables.
This man says to me, he goes,
get this whiskey out here.
Well, I guess you guys never have diabetics coming in here then, huh? To which I say to him, I lean over on the counter and put my elbow down and I rip my glasses off at him and I go, no, I'm sure we have diabetics coming in all the time. They just never tell me about it. And he went back and sat down. I mean, that's the thing. I'm like, it's not like you ordered a vanilla latte and you're like, oh, I'm diabetic, I can't drink this if it's not sugar-free. That's understandable. You ordered a basic coffee, which in itself, with no alterations, is sugar-free, diabetic-friendly, and also a totally normal thing for people to drink. It's not unheard of for people to drink a coffee with nothing in it.
I'm showing my smartness here. It has a low glycemic index.
Yes, that's it.
Coffee has a low glycemic index, everybody. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, I was very frazzled. I was very mean to this man, and I felt really bad later because he actually performed for the open mic, and he pulled out a 3/4 size Martin.
Oh!
He pulled out a 3/4 size Martin.
He was ripping.
And he started playing some Delta.
Oh no, he didn't play Delta blues. There's a record over there. We got Charlie Patton somewhere in here.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I love the Delta blues. and I felt really bad. And it was
This is a horror story.
the thing about listening to somebody play, the thing that's, for those of you at home that don't know, Delta style blues or really old style blues, like
What's the beginning
when
of
it was
blues
becoming
music in
prominent,
general? Yeah, it's the foundation.
is usually just one person, and they're playing their guitar as both a percussive and a string instrument at the same time. It's an incredibly hard kind of music to play.
Just so impressive to see or hear, even.
It's just
crazier.
You hear people playing it, and it's either they're playing it well and they're singing really well over top of it. Because the thing about singing for Delta music is you're not trying to sing well.
No, it's raw.
You're croning, you know.
Yeah.
And this man got up there,
That's what you
and
call
he
that?
was fucking
Croning?
like he's up there just ratting it out, you know.
Wow.
And I felt very bad. I talked to him after the show. We had a really good chat, actually.
I love open mics. More coffee shops. We encourage you to do those once we're out of this pandemic.
Yes.
It really, one day a week at least, just make it a little stage. Doesn't have to be a big production. It's just so good to have an outlet for local people who are, people at coffee shops are creative types.
And the things that you get to see.
Yeah.
I mean, the things
I heard some great music
the
there.
variance in things that you see at open mics is huge.
I love it.
It's not just people with guitars,
It's a varying, artists.
There was a woman that used to come in with her full-size harpsichord, or her full-size
I love
harp,
those.
They're
beautiful sounding, yeah.
And she would play it,
Yep.
and it'd sing.
I remember that.
It was,
I actually remember that
it was
downtown.
wonderful.
Yeah.
She herself was a little kind of.
Her music was very.
She was a little
enchanting.
overbearing as a customer.
Yeah. She plays a harpsichord.
But killed it.
No offense
and
to all
you
the
have
harpsichord players out there.
one of my favorite things is when hip hop performers show up to open mics.
Oh, really? I never witnessed this.
Or rap artists. It's really cool to see local people just showing up.
What about slam poetry? I've seen some of
Yeah,
those.
slam poetry
that's
is really
pretty
cool.
dope.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy spoken word. I do
Mhm.
really. I think we should see some more of that at coffee shops. I would love to, help. Maybe get involved. We Pop would love to help. Get involved locally if any coffee shops are
We'll go
doing that. Because you play music. We play music.
We do play music.
Yeah, so that's all. That's a passion. Aside from coffee, that's all.
Yes.
And I like seeing them merge. Is what I'm really getting at. And we have a lot of connections in our little scene. And I think that the whole coffee community as a whole, coffee and music go together so well. I mean, even let's mention them. Starbucks. They have Spotify playlists when you go in their store. They auto load in your phone and coffee house playlists. There's crazy stuff.
Wait. What?
Yeah, there's Starbucks has Spotify playlist. We're on Spotify.
Hold
right
on.
now.
Are you telling me that if I walked into a Starbucks,
I've had it happen.
with my Spotify open, it will show up?
If you have it set to because they know where you are. Your phone knows where you are.
Oh,
Wearable technology. See what I'm talking about?
I like to leave my phone
GPS.
around different places for hours at a time.
Shoot, man. I'm actually, as much as I'm complaining about wearable technology and I just got my daughter a phone, and I definitely am really excited that I have the ability to track her every move.
That's fair.
It's a double-edged sword. All right, we move on. Barista Horror Stories, that was a good one. It was a little bit in the reverse where you were kind of the jerk.
Yeah, there have been plenty of times where I've been.
You flipped the script.
I've been a little, more raw with a customer than I should have been.
Well, we all have those days.
Maintaining face gets a little hard sometimes.
All right, I'm going to bring out our next segment right here. Boom. We're doing a review of the Coffee Gator scale, coffee scale, multifunction timing scale, and here, open that up for us. I'm going to show you my coffee scale real quick. So my coffee scale for everybody is pretty chill and dirty, and it has a silicone pad. But the bottom line with a coffee scale is that it needs to have a timer function. So this is the on and off button, and then you tear it, and it's in grams, and then you start your timer over here on this side, and you do your water and your coffee, you get your ratio, you get everything going like we explained in the last episode. However, I mentioned that I had bought my scale for $20 on Amazon, and that's this beautiful. This keeps falling off, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. But let's show you the Coffee Gator scale. Can I see that beautiful?
Yeah, here,
Baby?
let's take the mat off because it's
It's the exact
brand.
same scale, everybody.
It is the exact same
I know
scale.
it's a little harsh, but seriously, Coffee Gator, I do love you, but you really could have done better here. You could have tried a little harder because, I paid double for your scale, and it's the same scale. That being said, it's a really good scale. I'm giving it 5 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a perfect scale compared to how expensive the other one we mentioned in the last episode is.
Look, now this scale with the Coffee Gator.
Oh wait, yeah,
with
let me
the
see
Coffee
that.
Gator mat on it. Looks just like a
Yeah.
regular Coffee
So,
Gator scale.
No logo, Coffee Gator logo, basic, they white labeled. It's a white labeled product. Amazon. So basically what we were talking about is getting started and making pour overs for cheap, not actually having to spend over even $100 to get going. Let's talk about the one thing that does make it different.
Yes.
It came with this case. I love this case because it does for the whole bean. So you can. It's not really that functional for a lot of people because most people are weighing their grinded coffee, and this is for the whole beans. It's more of a. It's cool though. So this comes with your Coffee Gator purchase that I don't know the brand of the no name one that they white labeled, but it didn't come with that, and it didn't come with these cool coaster. Postcard thing with instructions. Very good branding, I gotta tell. Coffee Gator.
Branding is important.
Yeah, and honestly, a message from the CEO. I definitely back Coffee Gator. I have their kettle with thermometer built in, and I definitely think that it's by far one of the best kettles I've ever owned, and a little cheaper than the competition. So on their scale, they could have tried a little harder. That being said, they picked a good product to piggyback off. A white label. And also, we just wanted to, as entrepreneurs, just like talk about white labeling. What that is a brand that manufactures a product that doesn't necessarily put their logo on it, so that other companies can go ahead and use them for their brands. So,
which is perfectly acceptable to do.
Yeah,
it's
we're not knocking you whatsoever. We are giving you 5 stars, and you see the super cool box. I would definitely head over and check them out on Amazon.
What really surprised me was when I found out how common white labeling products actually is.
Oh, it's so common.
It's an incredibly common thing, actually.
It's how the world works, everybody.
Yeah.
We're here to help. We're here to educate and entertain, hopefully. But right now with the scale situation, I think that I wish I could remember exactly how much I spent on that first one. But we're going to touch on grinders next because I've been getting a lot of questions from people about grinders, from people on Instagram and friends of mine. Actually, people often, burr grinder is such a big category. So upcoming, we're going to check out and talk about our favorite grinder, one that's been working for 5 years.
I've had it for 5 going on 6 years now, and it still works perfect.
Don't say the name. Hold
Next
it.
episode, you have to listen.
You'll meet our 5-year-old plus grinder and learn a little bit more. But we have a couple friends we want to introduce you to right now. One is OF, and one is Prohibition style OF. All right, finish your whiskey. All right, so this table I built myself here actually is made out of a whiskey barrel from Kentucky, and we love whiskey, we love coffee. One day we're going to make whiskey, but right now we just make coffee. What we're going to do is taste test these for you, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. So this is our regular, and this is our special.
Yes.
So explain this for them.
This is some regular Old Forester. A really fun thing about Old Forester, the call tag for it is, one of their slogans rather, is sold before, during, or continuously sold before, during, and after Prohibition.
That's right.
Which brings me into, it's also the first bottled bourbon. Prior to Old Forester being a distillery and selling their bourbon in individual glass bottles, what you would do is you would go to a bar or a distillery with like a growler or your own glass jug or whatever, and you'd have the option of getting it filled up and having it diluted with some water to reduce the proof, because bourbon, when it comes out of the barrel,
Yeah, this is
a
at
lot
86.
stronger.
The regular is 86.
Yes.
But
the Prohibition style, this is the Prohibition style. This is their recipe from when they were selling during Prohibition.
All right, let's put this back.
Still in glass bottles. They didn't dilute it out of the cask. They did not dilute it. This is just
and by
filtered.
cask we mean barrel, which is an oak barrel that's charred on the inside. And we've had some whiskey infused coffees. I've not been a fan. Maybe
I don't like whiskey and coffee.
We'll touch on that one too. That's actually a good one. I actually have one we can taste test. So upcoming one, we'll talk about grinders and whiskey coffees.
Yeah. I like coffee beers. Sometimes. I don't like coffee beers. I like coffee sours.
I've had a good coffee beer, honestly. You're right.
Coffee sours are where it's at.
Yeah.
I actually made one.
Let us know your favorite coffee beer and we'll try it.
Well,
okay,
back to the whiskey.
Back to this. Old Forester 1920 Prohibition style whiskey. Pour it up. Do me. I'm ready. I want a double. I'm ready for bed.
Did you drink any of this earlier? Did you try it when I told you to?
No. It was 11 a.m.
You're in.
I smelled it.
You're your own boss.
One of the perks of being your own boss is day drinking. Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Oh man.
Bummer.
This
I'll
still
clean
is
that
my
up later.
house.
Lucky you don't have carpet.
No, honestly, that's cool. You actually cleaned it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
There was some dirt over there. I'll mop it up before I leave.
Always helping. You're such a helpful person.
I got to tell you, I drank some of this last night, and I'm not excited to drink it. This is a whiskey that would be great for.
I want you to see these beautiful Pewabic. They're cortado cups, actually. They're coffee cups. But we're drinking whiskey out of them. That's why I wanted to point that out. But yeah, sip it. Don't shoot that.
This would be a good whiskey for whiskey and water.
Oh, that's got a bite. I don't need any water with that, though. Honestly, see, we, on the side, have a company where we sell barrels of whiskey barrels and reclaim wood, like the stable.
We tear them apart and we make furniture out of them.
The thing is this. So we smell this fresh barrel essence. When you drill into or open up a barrel, you smell that fresh whiskey smell. Yep. And this tastes like it smells. I can get behind this 110%. And how much did you pay for that?
It was $86.
I'm going to toss you some cash because I'm going to drink some of that.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine.
All right.
Another fun fact, sometimes when we drill into the barrels...
I had no idea it was $86.
Yeah, I only bought it... Here's why I bought this whiskey, and this is why we're talking about it tonight, is because while Josh and I were browsing through distilleries' listings and seeing what exactly all of our options were...
Yeah.
Because we do really like whiskey. We like to try new things. We've been looking for a bottle of this for a while, and I happened to see one while I was at the store the other day, and I said... Gotta have it.
Gotta have it. Sometimes you just gotta treat yourself. Jordan, you gotta treat yourself.
It's a beautiful bottle. It's very good.
Honestly, if you don't treat yourself from time to time and buy the finest whiskey available, then you're not living. And I honestly believe that I will give you some money. I feel like I had no idea it was $86.
No, it's okay. It's fine.
All right, we digress. Do you have any other things for the people?
I feel like I was going to say something, but now I can't quite remember.
I had something. You keep talking. We have one more thing. I wanted to quickly shout out some of our awesome listeners all over the world because right now I'm seeing thank you to Hamtramck, thank you Taylor, Columbus, Ohio, Manhattan, Brompton, Ontario in Canada, Ypsilanti, Los Angeles, California, Chicago, Illinois, Portland, Oregon, Toronto, Ontario, Atlanta, Georgia, Livonia, Michigan, Meaford, Ontario, Lake Elsinore. I mean, I could go on and on, but we got listeners all over the world right now, man, and it's pretty exciting. I got, overall, Saskatchewan, Prince Albert.
Yeah, it's crazy that, what we're doing here is episode 5, and we've already got people listening all over the United States, Canada,
and more to come because
all the way across the
this
globe.
is why we started this business. So I want to, let you know that you listen to this, you're going to learn, you're going to love, you're going to laugh, and most of all, you're going to have a good time. Absolutely. And thank you for listening. And with that, one more. Good night.
Good night. Wow.
I honestly love this whiskey. It's so good. Oh wait, you didn't say your tagline.
I'm gonna change it today.
All right.
No, it's not. It's not
I
actually.
can't end this episode until you say your tagline.
I was gonna change it to it's always a good time for a cup of whiskey, but that's not true. It's not always a good time. Sometimes there can be a bad time to be drinking whiskey. So on that note,
drink responsibly, people.
drink responsibly, and there's never a bad time for a cup of coffee.